Hi there, welcome back to Parent Chat Videos. In this video, I am going to introduce you to an icebreaker exercise that I like to do when I am doing guest speaking or workshops in the community. And it's very simple. And if you would like to participate, if you could get a piece of paper and a pen or a pencil and write down your answers to these different age groups that I'm going to provide for you. And then after that is done, I'm going to explain what the importance of this icebreaker exercise actually is. So the first one is I'm going to give you a series of words, and I would like you to write down the first thing that comes to your mind. And also pay attention to your reaction to the word. So if I, give a certain word, and if you're just writing an answer down, go ahead and do so. But if you also have some type of emotional response in like some kind of facial expression or something like that, then please make note of that as well. So I really want you to really pay attention to how you are reacting to these words and what they actually mean. Okay? So here we go. We're going to start. Hopefully you have your pen and paper all ready to go. So the first word is newborn. So just think of that word and write whatever comes to your mind. Newborn. So newborn baby. The second word is toddler. Toddler. The same thing, write down what you think. The next word is preschooler. Preschooler. Okay? Hopefully you wrote words down that you thought of as soon as you heard that word preschooler. The next word is elementary school student. So elementary school from kindergarten all the way up through 5th or 6th grade, depending where you live. Elementary school student. What do you think of that? The next one is middle or intermediate school student. And then think of what comes to your mind. The next one is high school student. High school student. So kind of think, what do I think about high school students? And the last one is college students. College students. What do you think about college students? Okay. Now I would like you to look over your list very carefully. And I would like you to circle all the negative words that you use in describing those the words, what the words meant to you. So if it was newborn, toddler, preschooler, not kindergartner, but elementary school student, middle school student, high school students, I would like you to circle any negative words you use to describe that age bracket. I'll just take a few seconds or minutes and go through your list and just be honest, because there's the meaning in this. Okay, now I would like you to circle if you rolled your eyes in any of your reaction was that you rolled your eyes. So if it was middle school or high school, did you roll your eyes when you heard of that word for that age bracket? Okay. Now, really would like you to look at your list again and cross out all the words that the descriptions that you listed on all the words that were absolutely positive. So most of the time you're going to be able to cross out newborn, because those are just, warm and fuzzy words. It's usually like cuddly, so precious, life changing, happy. You have a newborn baby, that's new life, right? Everything is just all wonderful and great, except you may be a little sleep deprived, but you're mostly happy, right, when you have a newborn. And so if all of the words that you describe newborn was positive, please cross out newborn. And whatever other age brackets that were all positive or mostly positive, then cross that one out as well. And it'll probably be the elementary school age would be mostly all positive. Yeah. And also probably a lot of times the college age bracket is very positive too, because you probably have words like independent, focused, know what they want, earning their, like, working part-time, anything that is like has to do with like them exercising their independence and actually reaching for their goals in higher education. So a lot of times the college age bracket also gets crossed off, but it all depends on your experience and what words you put in there. Okay, so let's just say I'm just gonna go with like the average, what usually happens when I do this in person in front of a group. It's usually newborn, elementary school, and college that gets crossed out. Okay, so what we have left is toddler, preschooler, middle school, and high school. So usually in those 4 age brackets, you're going to see some negative words. So let's start with toddler. Okay, so toddler. So how many of you said terrible twos? That's negative, right? How many of you said they only like to say no, or they don't know how to listen, or they're active, they're too active, they're I did this one time, and this person was saying mischievous, but almost mischievous to all the age brackets. But anyway, mischievous because they're still learning their surroundings and what's going on, so they always want to look up and check things out and explore. Yeah, so that would be toddler. Okay, and then the next one is preschooler. So in the preschool age, you may have some negative words because they are having to learn how to share, how to get along with people in preschool, and maybe it's not going so well. Yeah, so it could be words like don't know how to follow rules, or is trying to assert their independence but not understanding what their boundaries are. What else happens in preschool? How to make friends. Yeah, or if they are having struggles with that, are they reacting? Yeah, their behavior, like they're not maybe understanding how to control their reactions, yeah, when they're in those environments, because it's all new to them, right? So that would be under preschool. And middle school, okay, so be honest, how many of you, because that's like the pre-teenage years, right, where you get into 6th, 7th, 8th grade, and in that age bracket. And a lot of times, I know if you're really, really honest, when you wrote down your answers and your reactions to those age bracket words, how many of you rolled your eyes? Was it you? Did you roll your eyes? Oh, middle schoolers, preteens, right? That would happen in that age bracket, the middle school one. Also, what's happening in middle school is they're adjusting to a whole new environment from actually coming out of elementary school. Sometimes what also happens is if they were in elementary school and they excelled in certain areas like in academics or in their social environment, if they were considered popular or if they were good in sports, in elementary school, and then they have to transition into a different school where that school is blended with different districts, then they have to basically start all over again at the bottom, right? And then a lot of times this age bracket, they struggle to find where their place and where they belong, where they came from an environment where they were accepted already and they excelled and they proven what their abilities were and what they were able to do. But then they got to come into middle school and it's like they're a fish out of water. Like they're just like, oh my gosh, what am I supposed to do here? This other person is better at spelling or better at basketball, or how do I find my way, where I came from a place where I was known for this, and then now I'm here. And not only that, a lot of times they have to say goodbye to some of their friends because maybe they ended up going to a different school, or if they were in public school, maybe their parents decided to put them in private school, or maybe they're living in a different district than that middle or elementary school that your child is going to be attending or is attending. So there's a lot of things that happen. So what then happens is the negative words that come up in this age group is that they become closed off, quiet, they're not sharing, and also their behavior may escalate, and it's like you don't even know this person anymore because they're so different. And the reason for that is they're just going through a lot of changes and they don't know how to navigate it because they don't have anything to compare it to. They have no life experience whatsoever of being in this environment and knowing, okay, things are going to be bumpy at first, but the road is going to end up to be a little smoother, and I'm going to be able to find my way and find maybe a different set of friends if their other friends go to a different school. And so that's where those negative words come from. And then of course there's high school, right? So again, how many of you rolled your eyes when I said high school? High schoolers, high school students, I believe is what I said. And the reason for that is, okay, so if you are currently raising a teenager that is attending high school, for some reason they just wake up one morning and they think they have all the answers. Like all of a sudden they know everything. There's nothing you can tell them that differently that they're gonna accept because they already know everything, because wow, they're in high school now. So they've lived life already, right? So those would be some of the negative words that would be associated with the high school student, right? So it would be something like, that they're too assertive, or they become aggressive, or they're not following the rules, and they just want to whatever I say, it's never good enough. They become embarrassed of me, me meaning the parent, and all of that. And so that's what happens in that age bracket, and those are the reasons for it. A lot of other words will come up in high school as well. And I should backtrack a little bit. In middle school too, you may have words like fear, worried in these two, like middle school and high school, because you're going to be worried about, if they engage in like experimenting with drugs or alcohol or other risk-taking behaviors. Yeah, this is the age bracket where the parents start to get anxious and really worry. And then what also tends to happen is the parent starts to evaluate their parenting skills, and they want to be reassured somehow that they did the best that they could, so that their child, their preteen, their teenagers here are making, you know, really good choices for themselves. Yeah. And so that's where, you know, those negative words or thought process comes into play. So what I really also want you to do now is look at your list and understand that where the negative words came into play were under the age group categories that were strictly aligned and conducive with changes in growth in those children, in the child in those different age brackets. So a toddler, okay, what is a toddler learning? You know, they're learning how to walk, they're learning how to talk, they're learning how to communicate, right? And it's all it can be, you know, sometimes frustrating for the parent or the adult caregiver in those situations, because it takes a lot of time and patience, yeah, to be able to teach them and understand that they're not going to just learn it right away. And a lot of times there's a lot of reinforcement in that age bracket. And then with the preschool, that is also an adjustment, right? Because you're going into a whole new first time in a classroom, first time maybe seeing a lot of people your same height and age. You know, think about it like that. Like they're 3 years old, 4 years old, and you're in this classroom with this other person that's not my mom or my dad, and I have to stay here, and now I have to play nicely with all these other people that are my same height. Of course, they have cousins and maybe siblings that are around their age, but to be in a room full of like 20 other people that are your same height and your same age could be very overwhelming for them. And so all they know how to do is to react in their behavior. And a lot of times, even negative attention that they're getting from you is still attention. So you may want to keep that in mind as well. And of course, the middle school is all that I just explained about the transitioning from elementary school into middle school and high school. A lot of other fears happen if you are raising a teenager in high school. You have to worry about they're going to start dating. You have to worry about the consequences of that. You have to worry about when they start driving, right? Or really, really kind of pay closer attention to the friends that they are hanging out with. You know, what kind of people are they? Seriously. What's their characters like? You know, are they more likely to try to convince your son or daughter to do something, right? All those things come into play in the high school age bracket, which, you know, could be negative. But I just want to encourage you to understand this whole icebreaker exercise that I do. And the reason that I do it is just for parents to kind of understand why their child or their teen reacts in those different environments when their life is changing and they're going through milestone advances in their life. And this is the reason. Now, a lot of times, you know, you can counteract the negativity with learning how to just communicate with them. If you communicate in a manner in which they feel safe and comfortable, and that they can actually have conversations with you and not feel like they're going to get in trouble, or not feel intimidated, or feel like their answers are wrong. Okay, if you are creating an environment that that is conducive to that, then they're more likely to transition through all of these things a little easier, because they would know that no matter what situation that I'm going through and what struggles that I may be faced with, I can always go home and share them with my mom or my dad, and they're gonna let me know, you know, give me some suggestions or be there for me. Yeah, they're gonna be there to support me no matter if I'm right or wrong in what I tell them. And that's the kind of relationship you want to establish at a very, very young age, if at all possible. depending when you're watching this video and how old your child is now, it's not too late to start. You can start right now. Even if they're already 17 years old, you can still start and change the dynamics of your relationship for the better. So I hope you learned a lot from this icebreaker, and I hope I see you in the next video, and I hope this was very helpful for you. I really, really do. Thank you so much for being here once again, and as always, happy parenting. Goodbye now.